I'm not dead again. I'm not dead again.
My instincts are screaming. Something's not right with that kid.
And despite not being a mutant, he interacts with your people a surprising amount.
Kid's got the worst luck in the universe.
That's right. I did it.
Like he's walking blindfolded through a crack house.
That's right. I did it.
Or he's just unlucky.
Possibly, but worth observing.
You and your investigations.
Someone has to think ahead.
Sure, but sometimes a cigar is just a cigar, Bub.
Jameson isn't helping. His broadcasts are escalating, manufacturing outrage, monetizing paranoia, encouraging symbolic violence.
Guy's a damn vulture. Wants to see the world burn just so he can sell newspapers and hear himself talk.
A corrosive influence.
And a grade A dickhead.
Accurate. I considered offering Spider-Man a role at Wayne Tech. Let him access proper materials, stabilize his life. A path toward maximizing his potential.
Yeah, no, kid ain't taking it. He'll see this charity. A cage on a shiny leash.
It isn't charity.
Doesn't matter. He's built from guilt and stubbornness. You try to fix him, he'll run.
He could save more if he optimized. Better sleep, better nutrition, reliable equipment. If his web launcher hadn't failed that night in Queens...
I'm not dead again. That's right. I did it.
So what now? You give up?
No. But philosophy cannot be forced. If he ever accepts help, we start small.
I'm not dead again.
Like what?
That's right. I did it.
Design review. Paid well. On his terms. No strings.
Huh. Not bad. Kid might actually take that. Because it ain't pity. Sounds like respect.
Exactly.
But don't fool yourself. You ain't molding him into Bat Jr.
No. But maybe one day he'll rise above Manhattan's weight. Those waters keep dragging him under. I'd like to see his potential breathe.
Keep dreaming, Bub. Kid's a tough nut.
I know.
I'm gonna put some dirt in your eye.
Don't take slow for an answer. Secure the dub with super fast optimum internet. Enjoy 99.9% network reliability and blazing fast 1 gig speed so you can finally stop getting wrecked. Click now.
Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Body.
Remember that?
That's body.
Yeah, good job. Things don't work like
One body.
used to, and sometimes that's a good thing. Take finding a Medicare health plan. We can help make it crystal clear. Call Health Markets today.
Back at it, so Doc. So good, babe.
HR, the fun police, pencil pushers, four eyes, that might be how you see them, but they're too busy to care. Do you think they're fighting paperwork? No, they're building empires. Crossing continents like Charlotte, keeping companies alive in countries they've never even seen. HR doesn't need a cross. They need a platform that moves as fast as their ambition. And Deal is their change. And we mean literally, forged for speed, driving growth within and beyond every border. The global infrastructure for work. Look at it. The purple hue. compliance without compromise. So if you have something to say to HR, HR has only one thing to say to you.
Move. Excuse us. Sorry.
Deal. Your forever people platform.
When you work out at Crunch, you feel good. Getting stronger, that feels good. Getting a high five from your new bestie, that feels good too. However, out there can feel bad. Really bad. Really, really bad. So feel good at Crunch, starting at $9.99.
Join Crunch Fitness today.
Contingency Plan Code, fantastic. Subject, Mr. Fantastic. A man who combines extraordinary genius with malleable physiology to fight in ingenious ways. In some respects, he reminds me of Plastic Man. Both can twist and mold their bodies at will. But there's a subtle distinction that makes Reed Richards far more predictable, albeit still dangerous. Plastic Man's abilities border on the unfathomable, allowing him to generate gaps in his own body, morph into living machinery, and stretch to virtually limitless proportions. Reed Richards, meanwhile, is limited to roughly 1,500 feet of extension, though I suspect he can push that threshold with enough reckless exertion. Unlike
What?
Man, whose regenerative capacity is borderline absurd, Mr. Fantastic's healing factor is more modest. That's enough to make him a challenge, but not so much that he's unstoppable. Reed's brilliance extends beyond simple lab work. He's known for leading the Fantastic Four and delving into realities beyond our own. Extra-dimensional experimentation, cosmic anomalies. He thrives on pushing scientific boundaries. Curiosity has been his enduring motivation.
Can I get some meals, please? Thank you very much.
Critical details.
Let's fight again.
Each failure sharpens his resolve, making him
Got him, coach. Big nuts. That's what happens when you get hit with a big nut. You see that? Big nuts.
leveraging his intellect to anticipate.
Got him.
Determined to follow. He can be The Maker, an incarnation of Reed gone completely off the rails, deranged, unmoored, and lethal. He wore a helmet that shaped his brain to enhance his already vast mental capacity, experimenting on his former allies, discarding any trace of empathy. Entire worlds fell to his schemes. That's why this Reed must be watched. A slip in
Got him, coach. Big nuts. That's what happens when you get hit with a big nut. You see that? Big nuts.
It doesn't help that many heroes don't push the limits of their powers. What if
Coach. Big nuts.
train his elasticity? It's no different than Superman willingly working out in order to increase his physical strength. Given enough practice, Reed could exceed that 1,500-foot limit, especially if he employed the kind of biomechanical augmentations the Maker embraced. A future in which Mr. Fantastic can replicate, expand, or weaponize his body at will is not something I'm willing to overlook. Now, how do I handle someone like Reed? First, I must exploit his most glaring vulnerability. Extreme temperatures.
Got him, coach. Big nuts. That's what happens when you get hit with a big nut. You see that? Big nuts.
Anything that can lock him down before he has a chance to adapt.
Got him, coach. Big nuts. That's what happens when you get hit with a big nut. You see that? Big nuts. Got him, coach. Big nuts. That's what happens when you get hit with a big nut. You see that? Big nuts.
Suit. It regulates my own temperature while generating pockets of heat intense enough to blister any attempt to coil around me. If Reed tries to constrict me with those elongated limbs, he'll burn himself in the process. The suit's integrated thermal emitters will force him to keep his distance. Once I have him off balance, I can deploy my freeze weaponry to immobilize him entirely. Still, the biggest weapon he wields is not his elasticity, it's his mind. I expect an arsenal of gadgets, from handheld dimension slicers to advanced illusions. His membership in that secretive circle all but confirms he's prepared for every scenario he can hypothesize. That's why my response must be unpredictable. Contingencies upon contingencies. If I sense he's about to unveil some new invention, I'll switch tactics, disrupt communications, scramble signals, jam his tech. Psychological warfare is also key. Reed's curiosity can be a weakness. Dangle a baffling anomaly in front of him, and he might fixate long enough for me to slip in and encase him in ice. Underneath his brilliance, Reed Richards is still human. His family, his team, they remind him of his conscience. That's the leash that prevents him from turning into the Maker. But if that leash ever snaps, I can't allow him to roam unchecked. Infinite realities mean infinite possibilities, and somewhere out there is proof of what could happen if I let my guard down. For that reason, I will monitor him, prepare for every angle, and ensure that if Mr. Fantastic so much as considers crossing that line, I'll be there, ready and waiting, to freeze him in his tracks. Here's the thing. Ben Grimm, better known as The Thing, is one of the key members of the Fantastic Four. His story begins with an experimental spaceflight that exposed him and his team, Reed Richards, Susan Storm, and Johnny Storm, to intense cosmic radiation. That fateful event altered them forever, gifting each with extraordinary abilities. But for Ben, the transformation came at a cost. While the others can revert to human form, Grimm's mutation was permanent. His skin turned to an orange, rock-like exterior, granting him immense strength and durability, yet stripping away his humanity and appearance. The psychological toll of this change was profound. Before the accident, Ben was just a man, a pilot, a soldier, a friend. Afterward, he became something else entirely. His personal relationships suffered. One of the most significant blows came from a woman he loved, who left him after seeing what he had become. Despite the heartache, Grimm found solace in his teammates. They stood by him, especially Reed Richards, whose guilt over the accident remains a constant weight. Johnny Storm teases him relentlessly, but beneath that banter is a deep brotherhood. Ben's greatest strength isn't just his fists, it's his loyalty. Beneath that rocky exterior lies a heart of gold. He's the kind of man who will take the first hit if it means protecting someone else. Threaten those he loves, and you'll see why he calls it clobbering time. There's a particular rivalry worth mentioning, his ongoing clashes with the Hulk. It's rare to see two beings capable of exchanging blows on that scale. Their fights are titanic, but there's a strange respect between them. They know the damage they can cause, so their brawls often happen far from civilians. The reason they're so evenly matched. Ben's one of the few who can take Hulk's punches and give them back just as hard. But while the Hulk's strength escalates with his rage, Grimm's power is constant, unyielding, like the rock he's become. Ben's powers are straightforward: brute force, unparalleled durability, and endurance that most heroes can't match. He can lift over 100 tons, absorb punishing blows without flinching, and fight for hours without tiring. His rocky hide repels heat, cold, and conventional weaponry. There's no point throwing bullets or fire at him. It won't work. And while many focus on his strength, they forget his military background. Ben's a brawler with the discipline of a soldier and the instincts of a street fighter. You don't last in as many battles as he has without knowing how to throw more than just wild punches. Which brings me to the contingency. With individuals like Grimm, who have few traditional weaknesses, trading blows is inevitable. Outmuscling him isn't an option. It's about outthinking him. That's why I've developed the Thing Buster. It's an exosuit, similar in concept to a certain billionaire's Hulkbuster, but tailored specifically for Grimm. Constructed from a promethium alloy, it's designed to withstand impacts that would flatten buildings. The suit isn't just armor, it's a weapon. Reinforced servos amplify my strikes to match his strength. Every punch I land has to count because once he closes the distance, there won't be room for mistakes. But raw force isn't enough. Grimm's tough, but he relies on sight in a fight. To exploit that, the suit incorporates a specialized dispersal system. Mid-engagement, I'll deploy a synthetic biomass, engineered from the properties of Plastic Man and Clayface. Once released, it envelops his face, molding to his features and blinding him. His strength won't help. The substance shifts with his movements, readhering faster than he can tear it off. Without sight, his strikes become less precise, his defense weaker. Combine that with targeted concussive strikes, and I can keep him off balance long enough to end the fight. Still, caution is essential. Even blinded, Grimm's no amateur. He'll rely on instinct and experience, making wild swings and using the environment as a weapon. His background as a pilot means he won't be disoriented for long, and his military training ensures he'll adapt. Underestimating him would be fatal. This isn't about arrogance. It's about preparation. There's something about Ben that demands respect. He's had chances to reverse his condition, to walk away from the monster everyone sees. But when faced with that choice, he stayed the thing. Why? Because his team, his family, needed him. He sacrificed his humanity so they wouldn't have to. That's a kind of heroism you can't fake. It's easy to be noble when things are simple. It's harder when you look in the mirror and see a stranger staring back. Grimm never let that stop him. Humanity isn't measured by skin or bone. It's measured by heart. And by that measure, Ben Grimm is more human than most of us will ever be. I don't want to fight him, but if I have to, I'll be ready. And if it comes down to it, I'll be the one doing the clobbering.
The good old family photo. Magical mayhem. And a moment worthy of the fruity fizzy fanciness of Welch's sparkling. To a momentum that only took 16 takes. Cheers. Break up the fancy juice.
Don't just take classes, take